Matt Clark here at the new Matt Clark. How are each and every one of you doing on this amazing Thursday? I'm doing great. My girl's doing great. My family's doing great. Hope each and every one of you are doing great. And I hope you're just having a good week. Bottom line, like positive mindset. If you could please hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that bell notification button so you get all my videos when they're new. If you could share with somebody on social media, help spread the message, help spread the word, that'd be amazing. And there's a PayPal option if you'd like to donate, help support the channel. The link is in the description of most of my videos. So what's up, what's up, what's up? How's everybody doing on this amazing Thursday? You know, I just hope everybody's doing good, you know. I think that in the times that we're living in, it's very easy to get caught up or maybe lose your way a little bit because of mental health or maybe addiction or whatever it is, because of the stresses of life. And I just want you to know that you can get through it. Just keep a positive mindset, stay focused, surround yourself by people who are positive and encourage positive lifestyle choices. And hopefully you can get through it. We can get through it. I'm telling you, I'm here. The fact that I'm here proves that we can get through it. So today, I get asked questions a lot, okay? What's doing time like in Maplehurst? What's doing time like in the South? What's doing time like in the East? And the other Toronto jails. Now, there's 5 jails that I would consider Toronto jails, 2 of which are no longer open. The Don, the West, the East Detention, the Toronto South, and Maplehurst Detention Center. Now, there are a couple of fringe Toronto jails, which I guess you could call Lindsay and maybe even Penetang, but not really. I consider Toronto really just those 5 jails. Now, jail is jail. Prison is prison, right? But there's a very different energy in Toronto, and it's just a fact. If you haven't done time there, you won't know. It's just much more militant time. You have to be on your toes much more. And the time is really much more egotistical than if you're doing time anywhere else. There's a whole lot of pride issues going on. And it can get hectic. It just is what it is. And when you're in Toronto jails, each range will usually have its own specific rules and things that they do. And it really doesn't matter who you are, where you're from. If you don't follow those things, the range is going to get at you. You know, good luck getting a one-on-one fight in a Toronto jail. It's probably not going to happen. If it ain't between homeboys or people don't have a lot of respect for both guys, probably not going to happen. You're probably going to get a jumping situation. And that's something you should understand when you're going into a fight, and just be prepared. I mean, at the end of the day, it is Toronto. If you're doing any substantial amount of time there, most likely you're going to get into a physical altercation. It's just the way it is, and it's about keeping yourself safe as best as you can. Now, what to expect when you go to Toronto? Now, first of all, when you walk on a range in Toronto, it's a whole lot different than even, say, Lindsay or Penetang. Of course, any range you go to, you're going to get questioned why you're there. People are going to be like on you a little bit, but it's specifically different in Toronto. Guys will literally roll up on you like, yo, dog, what you have? What are you rolling with, dog? We know you have something, send on. And they're going to press you, they're going to try you, they're going to challenge you, and they're going to see if you're going to fold. They don't want nobody who's a waste man on their block. There might be a handful of crackheads or whatever on the block that are buffing floors and washing drawers, or guys that just take punk offs. But really, reality is most guys are going to stand up for themselves, and people don't really want guys like that around. It's just different kind of time. Now, the second thing that you need to know if you're about to do time in Toronto is the phones. The phones can get sticky, my friend. If you land on a range, lots of guys that are doing a long time, good luck getting a press during prime time hours. Some ranges will have a phone for new guys to call their lawyers or whatever. Some ranges won't. And it's up to you to get in there and get yourself a press, whether you know somebody on the block and they help you, or you just ask. Just be prepared to wait. Be prepared to wait. And if they don't give you a phone call, stand up for it. You know, a lot of the time, if you just stand up for yourself, you speak up, it's not going to get much more than that. You know, sometimes you might get in a beef or whatever, but a lot of the time people are just checking you, seeing what you're made of, and if you are going to respond, and if you don't respond, then it'll snowball. You know what I mean? If you get punked off once, you're going to get punked off twice, 15 times, 20 times. The only person that could stop that from happening is you. It's all about your mindset, man. It's all about your energy. It's all about how you carry yourself. It's not a whole lot of jokey going on when you're doing time in the city. There's a lot of politics, and really, it's really not like doing time anywhere else. Like when I do time in Lindsay, I'm able to chill. I'm able to smoke. I can go in my cell with my flip-flops on and just chill. Toronto ain't like that. You know, Toronto, you want to have your shoes on. You want to be on point all the time. And if you're white, it's going to be a little bit more challenging for you. Now, not every white guy is going to get punked off. That's not a fact. But you definitely are going to get checked. I can almost guarantee it. If you're in the city, in the adult detention center, the adult jail, not prison, okay? Prison's much different. It's much more respectful. If you go into jail, people are going to check you, man. Now, it might be harmless. They might be checking you just to see how you react, and they may not take it any further than that. But if they smell blood, it could get a whole lot worse. I'm just saying, be prepared for anything when you're doing time in the city. Most of those guys are going to end up doing their time in max and high medium security, and you probably won't see them a whole lot until they cascade down through the system. Now, another thing about Toronto is your food. Do you care about eating? Do you care about nutrition while you're in prison? Is your food worth fighting for? Because not every range, not every person is going to try and punk you off for your food. But when you go through the provincial system, and that's not necessarily only in Toronto, people are definitely going to challenge you for your food. Now, it might be desserts. It might be that you won't get a peanut butter because you're a new guy on the block. Who knows what it is? If you're in the Dawn with the juice jug, the beverage jug, you might not touch that if you don't speak up. It's not going to be just handed out. That's my point, you know. So, if you have any respect for yourself and you want to eat good food, be prepared to stand up for it, man. I've seen some crazy stuff when I was in provincial in Toronto, man. Guys getting punked off, slapped out, eating nothing but fruit cups, man. You see stuff like that. Or if you're in the Dawn, these guys, they're like yes men, you know. They run around doing things for people, and then on Christmas or New Year's, they're going to send up a double burger and fries and a good dessert. And they're going to go to a handful of guys on the block that won't stand up for themselves and give them a vegan meal, because these guys who have the vegan meals and who are on vegan diets or on specific diets, they're not going to get those special meals. So when those special meals come, they're going to come for them if you don't stand up for yourself. I think doing time in the city of Toronto is more treacherous than any penitentiary that I've been in or anywhere else. And that doesn't mean that it can't get hectic when you do time in other places, because it definitely can. People can definitely lose their lives no matter where it is. But Toronto is just a different animal. You know, as soon as you walk on the block, you can feel the energy of the range. Minute by minute, that energy can change. You can have beefs kick off. Like when I was in the Dawn, there was this sick beef. These two black guys. Okay, there's a Jamaican guy against an African guy. One guy's like 6'2", 220. The other guy's like 6'1", probably 200 pounds. These guys are throwing down. I'm telling you, a good 4 or 5 minute scrap. Two guys that don't smoke, train every day, scrapping, and square shots. Boom! Boom! Right in the jaw. Right in the jaw. And these guys are stumbling back, falling over tables, fighting. But that is the city. I haven't been anywhere else where you see somebody get their head drop kicked off a phone. That happens in the city. Any prison is bad, no matter where you do your time, right? It doesn't matter if you're, in a jail that holds 20 people up north, or if you're in a jail that holds 2,000 people in the GTA, or if you're in a federal maximum security penitentiary. Any situation can get bad, right? Energy can change on the block, tension can build up, and violence can happen. But in some places, it just seems like there's a lot more violence and a lot more politics. And I feel like when you do time in some jails, you can chill, man. You can chill, you can kind of let your guard down a little bit, although you probably shouldn't. But you can. Once you know people, once you're on the block for a minute and you get comfortable. I mean, that doesn't happen in the city, though. You can't get caught slipping like that in the city because you might get a sucker punch. Now, another thing that is much different in the city is getting pressed for your PK. Okay? If you come in, you have any bogey, any weed, even a spliff, anything like that, there's always going to be a beggar man on the block, and that beggar man is going to be relentless. I'm telling you, I haven't seen guys beg like they do in the city. I've seen guys literally stand in the shower in the West Detention Center and beg the whole spliff. Despite the fact guys are cool with them, all of a sudden they're acting like junk buckets and they can't keep it moving. A big rule in the city, never invite yourself on anything. I don't care how gangster you are, where you're from, how cool you are, where you're from. Until you're invited, don't walk in on a spliff, don't walk in on a cigarette, don't walk into a cell, don't walk behind the toilet, don't do none of that. Because it will bring tension your way. People will feel like it's disrespectful, like you're stepping out of line, and somebody might step to you. When I was in Lindsay last time, which isn't a Toronto jail, but it's close, I'm a known guy. People knew me, but because I had lost my mind, I was on drugs, I had a mohawk shaved in my head, and I was clearly coming off drugs. People knew that. And I was trying to get in on spliffs with people, and I was trying to be, part of the mandem, but it wasn't happening. I wasn't being accepted because of my appearance, and I got checked once, and it cheesed me. But I was 170 pounds soaking wet, and there's nothing I can do about it. So what did I do? I ate carbs every day. Push-ups, 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 push-ups. Got off the drugs and got myself in a good physical condition where I could protect myself. Now, you can do great time in the city, man, where you're chilling, smoking. Chances are if you're doing time in the city, you live close to there, so it's easy to get visits. A lot of the time, you can be on a block where it's not, where the feds aren't so hardcore. They're not just boom, boom, boom all the time trying to get you. And you can do comfortable time. But it can also get real bad real quick, especially if you don't know people, man. Get to know the block. Now, another thing I can say about Toronto, which is different than anywhere else. I have seen more gangsters crack off the block in Toronto than anywhere else. Because it's much more life or death, Back in the day when you were in the Don, guys are running around with carbon fibers and real dirty bone-crushing shanks. You could very easily lose your life. Guys will stomp your head in. Somebody was murdered on my range in the Don. So you know that's real. You know that can happen. You've seen it happen. You've seen it, man. You've seen guys that'll slump you on the road, bang you out one-on-one, crack off ranges because they have to. Life or death. Life or death. And it's easy for guys, whether it's online or people who've never been to prison, to say that guy's soft. But until you're in those circumstances and you've been put under that kind of pressure, you don't know how you're going to react. There's a flight, freeze, fight, response, and everybody responds differently. And until you've been in a real situation like that, you have no idea. So it's very easy to say that guy's soft or that guy's a punk. Sometimes guys just don't want to die. They just don't want to die. Now, I think the smartest thing to do is to just do your time as a man, not try to pull the wool over anybody's eyes or get over on anybody when it comes to a deal or punk somebody off in a deal or not pay your debt or get involved in politics that you're not prepared to back up. But the smartest thing to do is to just chill, man, and just be you. Let people see you for who you are. If you're not a fighter, you're not a fighter. Who cares what people think? Who cares if that guy over there thinks you're soft? It's about going home. Now, if you are a fighter, there's no need to run around, I'm a fighter, because you're bringing trouble. You're bringing drama when you don't need to. And that's just a reality. You could be walking out and doing your time chilling when really now you got all this beef and all these problems because you want to walk around with your chest pumped out. And in the city, you see that the most. It's easy to be a G in the street. It's easy to run your neighborhood or run the guys that are around you. But when you come in contact with everybody from a major metropolitan like Toronto, you never know who you're going to meet, and you can always meet your match. Doesn't matter how tough you are, how gangster you are, you can always meet your match. So it's better to just be humble. And that's why I always did good time when I was in Toronto, because I was humble. I didn't walk around acting like a tough guy, but I also wouldn't take shit dry. And people respect you when you're yourself. When you don't walk around acting like somebody you're not. I didn't try to pretend like to be a drug dealer or a killer, because that's not who I am. I laughed, I made jokes, I made people have fun as much as I can and make light of a bad situation. And because of that, I did good time. Now, I like doing time in Toronto because you don't get as much waste man stuff. You don't get as much goofiness. You don't get as much outright ratting and outright weirdness that you do get in other jails. You just don't get that. It's a much more on-timing kind of time. And it's just convict-based. Just is what it is, I remember one time I was in the East Detention, man, and we were in the bullpen, and the PC range went by, and it was the most gangster-looking PC range I ever seen in my life. Just a bunch of jack dudes that clearly were probably being bullies and got run off blocks by a whole crew of guys, because that's what happens in this city. No one-on-one. Obviously, I share my stories with you guys, so you guys don't have to go through these things yourselves. If I could snap my finger, nobody goes to jail in Toronto or anywhere else. That's what I do, but that's not a reality, especially in 2022. Ribs is touching, it's hard out here, and sometimes you got to do something that might land you in jail. It just is what it is. Hopefully these videos will give you enough information that when you go in, you're not going to piss anybody off, you're not going to get yourself hurt, and when you come out, you know what to expect, and you know what to do. Time's not worth it. In any way, right? It just isn't, right? You're wasting your life, you're wasting your talent, and freedom is something that we all take for granted. Well, not all of us, but when you're doing time, we take for granted. And when you're locked up, you think about the little things that you wish you had, the little tiny things that you wish you had, you don't have. And when you come out, it's very easy to forget those little things that you were missing. Take every day of your life and just look at the little things, the little progressions, the little wins that you get. Don't try to look for these huge victories, because sometimes that can be disappointing. Step by step by step. And this video is clearly about doing time in the city. Tougher to get a phone. Probably going to have to fight to get your food. If you're cool, you're going to do much more chill time. There's going to be a lot more to smoke. But it's convict time. It is what it is. Like, there's no half-stepping. If you're not cool, you're going to be exposed. And it doesn't mean gangster or the toughest. If you're not cool, you're going to be exposed. Love each and every one. Oh, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that bell notification button to get all my videos when they're new. If you could share with somebody on social media, help spread the message, help spread the word, that'd be amazing. And there's a PayPal option if you'd like to donate, help support the channel. The link is in the description of most of my videos. So love each and every one of you. The new man Clark.